Massive with Rebuild Destroy, 11 tracks, 40 minutes, the third show of the Aussie hard rock band released February 2019 via Off Your Rocker Recordings. Produced by Chris DeMelco, recorded at his Monolith Studios as well as Colour Sound Studios. Mastered by George Donahue. So far 2 singles have been released in Roses and Long Time Coming. This album comes with an almost entirely different line to the previous one, but does see the return of original lead guitarist Ben Laguda. This album also coincides with the band signing a new 5-year deal with Off Your Rocker Records.
Oh,
Dave.
Cool. Awesome. I didn't know about the 5-year deal.
Yeah.
Cool. New album, new lineup. My first time listening to it, I got a different vibe from this album from what I got from the first 2 albums. But then thinking back, the first time I heard Destination Anywhere, I got a different vibe from the first album. So it just shows the band's continued growth and they're willing to try new things, which is awesome. There's enough on here to still be massive, but at the same time they're branching out into new areas, which is what you need to do with each new album if you want to keep your interest. Enough not to alienate your audience, but to keep things fresh, especially for yourself. There's a maturity to Brad's lyrics as well, and songwriting, in fact. Facing the Crowd, that was a bit of a shock the first time I heard that song, but fuck, it was a very cool song. It's actually one of my favourites on the album.
Bit more road scarred now.
Yeah, you can hear it, but he delivers it so well. The songs on here, they're going to be instant live favourites. It's going to be interesting to see how they stack up, and they're just as good as everything that's come before, but yeah it's going to increase the live shows, I reckon. There's going to be a lot more material they can draw upon. Be interesting to see how they structure what songs from the set aren't played anymore from the previous albums and what songs are replaced, because they've got 3 albums now of awesome material. Yeah. They can pretty much play all 3 albums back to back, basically. But obviously no one wants to play for like 3 hours, unless you're Dream Theater.
I was about to say.
They've only got 3 songs in there.
And one was an edit.
Yeah, gotta cut it down. As the song said, man, it was a long time coming, but fuck, this has been worth the wait. Amazing band, amazing album, amazing growth. I gave it 10 out of 10.
Wow, cool.
Facing the Crowd, Wrecking Crew, Roses, Generation Riot, Long Time Coming, Bullet, and A Mile in My Shoes.
Cool.
So
Nice.
7 out of 11 songs? You pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just trying not to say all. I wanted to name some songs from it. It could have been anything.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, which way are we going? We're going to go.
Oh, whoever wants to go
Going
next.
up or going down?
Oh, okay, I'll go.
All right, go, Brendan.
Short and sweet. Look, I'm a huge, massive fan, and this one I also thought was a pretty big departure, sonically, particularly from the
sonically,
last couple.
Yeah.
It could be the lineup changes, it could be the studio changes. I don't know exactly what it was, but for me, like the guitar sounded like they've really ramped up the distortion. Where on the last one with Brendan on guitar, they had a lot more of a bluesy sort of feel to it, so it was sort of a bit more ramped up.
back on the distortion on some songs.
I found it
Laid
up.
back.
No, I found it more driving.
Yeah.
I found this is their heaviest release.
Yeah, I think so
date.
too.
Much more driven.
Yeah, still great riffy rock. So if you like Massive, you're not going to be disappointed. There's still the light and shade there. I think the slower songs are actually really strong. And Brad delivers them beautifully with the vocals. For me, this album doesn't quite reach the heights of the last one. Now, having said that, the last album was probably one of my favourite albums of the last 10 years. So, the bar was set pretty bloody high. This one didn't quite get there for me, but I still loved it. I gave it 8.5 out of 10. The highlights were Generation Riot, Long Time Coming, Over and Out, and A Mile in My Shoes.
Cool.
It starts off with a bang with Generation Riot, and that got me straight back thinking Full Throttle once again, which to me is massive.
Well, it's funny that you got Ben back in the fold,
which just leads into my next thing. I'm not sure if the fact that Ben's back in the band and the helping of the writing led them back to the first release. This is what I expect from the band. I must admit, I thought they lost their way on Destination somewhere.
Fair enough.
Somewhere?
Anywhere, wherever the fuck.
Somewhere. I keep getting mixed up on
Destination, I think it's somewhere.
Anywhere. They ended up some fucking place.
Yeah,
They did that.
Somewhere.
I thought that album was too bluesy driven, and I just thought they kind of lost their way a bit on that album. For me, probably half the album was okay. This one, different production, a lot more heavier, and more in your face, which suits their style of writing and what type of band they are. I thought this is Brad's best vocal performance. Shit, he could do. He did some incredible things vocally on this album that I knew he had it in him because I'd heard it live, but now he's captured it on an album. And I think it's some of the touring, obviously, that's helped.
You can hear it.
Battle hardened.
He's just wailing now, and it sounds fucking great. The best part about it is when you change members in a band or you bring people back, is the chemistry going to be different? If you were to close your eyes and put on the other 2 albums and this one, the drummer they got, I don't know who he is, but he's a good fit for Jared.
Agreed.
Andrew Greentree.
Okay. perfect fit. It doesn't change the dynamic of the band too much. That's the biggest thing. Members will come and go, but it's whether or not you get the right guy to fill the shoes, and I think they have.
Yep.
In the engine room sounds fantastic. If you're a fan of Massive already, you're not going to be disappointed with this album. When it drops, get it. If you haven't heard them before, if you do like your pub-driven, straight-in-your-face rock, you've got to get the album and also go back and get the rest of them, including the EP.
That's a good EP.
That's good.
There's some good covers on there and stuff like that. They are a solid band, and you will not be disappointed if you do like your riff-driven rock. It's just no nonsense, straight up guitars, drums, and vocals. And the best part about it is I love the variety on the album too. I like you. I felt some of the ballads or the lesser songs, that the more pulled back songs are great. And for me, that's what separated it not being another carbon copy album again. That's my only gripe with the Lazies album. It just sounded too the same. It was really good, but So, anyways, Generation Riot, Roses, Facing the Crowd, The Wrecking Crew, 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an excellent record. For mine, this is my favourite release from Massive.
Cool.
I thought it sounded, in terms of songwriting, it was definitely more mature. The way songs transitioned from part to part and the way the songs transitioned, the track layout was virtually perfect. Everything that you wanted to hear came next. The use, Brad's vocals, he's learning what his voice can do and what he's actually capable of, and has come a long way. And the way he plays off the vocals with the guitars and with the drums and how everything kind of feeds off each other and motifs off each other is actually really cool. There's a lot of little subtle things going on in this record. It's not like the standard pub rock album. As has been mentioned, the production I'm actually a huge fan of. The guitars, they are, like, for me anyway, a little more driven. They've just been slapped across the face and punched up a bit, and sit right at the front of the record, and it actually helps. It moves a lot of air, it pushes the speaker really well. If you haven't heard it before, if you've been partial to Massive and kind of half, definitely check it out. It may turn you into a full-blown fan. Long time coming, and Roses for mine were the highlights, and 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. Well, it's pretty clear there's just genuine Aussie hard rock on this one. No substitutes. It picks up for me where the last releases has left off and kept the train rolling for mine. As I've said a couple of times, it's more scarred by the road, which fits for this. It's riff-driven, balls out, hits just the right spot for fans of the style, and no one here is saying anything otherwise so far. Performances are all great. Expect no less from seasoned musicians. Ben has come straight back home on the lead guitar on this one, with some fantastic solos, I thought. Andrew Greentree on drums and Brendan Kewish on bass have locked in on this, and they hold it together, and they haven't allowed the band to change its sound and style as a consequence, which has been good. Brad is a demon on the rhythm guitar, though, and his vocals are insane on this release. His best vocal yet, ever. I think this 100%. Is his best vocal ever put down on anything he's done. Including Nicole's ads.
I don't know about that.
Controversial.
Mastercard, the way they sort of vibrato that. I don't know, it's quite good. Four-part harmony, it's fucking sexy.
Shit, here we go.
They've got to play that shit live.
3 hours of that for you, Dave. It's got
Mel,
great
do you want
use
sold? I'll sign up.
Oh, God. Come on. Great use of space in the composition for this one. A lot of different tempos applied on these songs, not only across the album, but the way they switch things up mid-song as well. The backing vocals were used really well on this release too. They break things up and they just give a little space to things here and there. It's got just the right amount of time you need to breathe, and then it gets back into it again for you. Some fantastic hooks on this. The energy's fantastic as well. These songs, like you said, they'll be great in a live setting, and I think that they've already been well tested in that area over in Europe as opposed to here. I can't wait to see it live. Lyrics are done well. Brad doesn't take any prisoners on this release. Intense delivery matches the content of those lyrics as well. There's fun, but there's also some serious and intense moments on this one which make you see that he's been through a bit since the last album cycle. Production-wise, I like the panning used on this. I like how it's got that live feel to it. and the way things are allowed to ring out. Everything's captured really well, layered nicely. The way these songs build up is really well represented by the mix as well. The energy is just captured on this. It's really in your face sonically, which works well. There's plenty of depth in there as well. And some nice just Foley bits and pieces here and there. Like there's that pub background noise on one track and stuff like that. I think for mine, the compression's been hit a bit too hard. It's not a big thing, and I'm not sure if that's more to do with the production or the mastering side of things. So it just got just a little bit too much. It just feels a bit too crunched for mine. They could have just left a touch of headroom in there, but it's not a bad thing. It's just an observation from mine because I'm a prick on this anyway. We all know that. I love the album dynamics though. The track order, that was really well thought out. It's up tempo, but then the slow moments come in at the right time to break it up nicely. The belters are fantastic songs, but they actually serve to actually highlight the softer moments even more, if that makes sense. The length is just right as well. If you're a fan of anything from Aerosmith to Electric Mary,
that's a good comparison.
This is the band to check out. This got some nice nods to the previous songs they've done in the past in there, but they're subtle, they're well done. I found those things to be like little Easter eggs for a long-time fan of the band. It's a grower. The more you spin this, the more you like it. One of those ones where you don't get sick of it, and each time you spin it, you'll find a song that'll fit your mood, whatever mood you're in at that time. This is what you expect from a band like this, but it also shows nice growth, and you can see why a label has signed them for 5 years, because there's so much more potential in this band too. I can't wait to see what they have in the future for these guys if they stay on the current path. This is a great way to start off 2019. 8.5 out of 10. I picked Bullet, The Wrecking Crew, Face in the Crowd, Long Time Coming, and Roses. Check it out for yourselves. Let us know what you think.
Nice.
To an end.
To an end.
The funniest thing about this review is that Nick was the one that wanted us to review this, and twice now he's missed out on reviewing it. So, fuck you, we're doing it anyway. Who wants to go first on this one?
Tim. Yeah, okay.
Enthused?
So volunteering.
Yeah, if I have to. Okay.
Fine.
If I have to. Alright, ready?
Yo.
Oh, I just kicked the dog in the head. Sorry, Stephen.